Your boy Mac and AC for 1585 show.
Somebody was hungry and didn't tell me to pick up anything on my way home.
Well, I wasn't hungry when you called, honey.
What you do? You hungry?
Y'all need to get a room. Y'all need to go and take that to the room. That's why I got a bunch of kids already. You stealing sugar.
Bunch, we got two.
James Mac in the house. In here stealing sugar during the 1585. So this is a He-Man Woman Haters Club show. We love you, Miss Mac, but you got to kick rocks. It's time for the fellas to get down and dirty.
Uh-oh, you didn't start something. She about to join the show. You got that full conflict in here.
So I'm taking rocks is what you just said?
No, I just said I got too many pairs of socks on. See? I got my shoes on. Just came from the gym. I'm still funky. Maybe my son was playing.
So we lying now.
No, we just making lively, just small talk. You are welcome to stay, Miss Mac. We are not He-Man woman haters. We love the ladies. Almost love the ladies too much back in the day. All right, here we go. We on. We sharing.
We on like Donkey Kong.
All right. My apps are acting crazy. We are a little bit late, y'all. Technical difficulties.
Okay, check the UCLA score.
UCLA softball score?
Yeah.
What it is. What it look like.
Okay, check the UCLA score.
Share this somewhere. UCLA softball score?
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, please click what it look like. The subscribe and like button. Share this somewhere. If you on Twitch, comment, holler at your boy. Please if you on Periscope before you are no longer to watch on Periscope, go ahead and comment, share, holler at your boy, retweet, because Periscope is a tweet, and no longer to watch on Periscope. And we in here, man. Comment. Our folks is in here. Mike Staff in here. What it do? Retweet. Periscope is a tweet. Elaine in the house. Elaine for 3. It's good. Folks is in here. Mike Staff. What it do? Retweet in the man cave. Safe place. No why. Elaine, and I got gaffle from my safe place. I'm in the garage. What it do? Retweet in the man cave. I got gaffle. Safe place. My man cave is now. And I got gaffle from my safe place. You can hear me in the garage. In the house. In the man cave. You getting the echo, Mac? Mike says getting the echo. My man cave is now.
No, I don't have an echo on my side.
I don't hear no echo right now, Mike. We had one earlier. That's why I took us so long to get online. Getting the echo, Mac. Keep it ear on. Mike says
getting whooped right now.
Mike,
no, I don't have an echo on my side.
I'll let Mike. I don't hear no echo right now. That thing going. He had one earlier. That's why I took us so long to get online. Echo, Mac. Keep it ear on. Yeah, we played tonight.
Getting whooped right now. No, I don't have an echo on my side.
I'll let we played tonight. Alex played a lot more games than I did. I'm just there to make sure he gets his in. Yeah, we played tonight. He gets picked up as he gets.
No, I don't have an echo on my side.
So we played tonight. We getting there, Deacon. Stay with the youngsters there to make sure he gets his. I'll be playing in my buddy Ray Domingo. He asked me to play in a league game on Thursday. We getting there. I gotta figure out if I'm ready to play in a game with a referee and the scoreboard. You know I go a little bit harder when it's real. Ray Domingo. I don't want to hurt myself. Playing a league game on Thursday. Audio is on repeat. Figure out if I'm ready to play in a game with a referee and the scoreboard. You know I go iPhone's not on playthrough. A league game on Thursday. Audio, my snowball, figure out if I'm ready to play in a game. Skype, you know, everything looks good on my side. Let me see if I can hear it. Not on play. Mute my mic real quick. Listen to it. Audio, my snowball, figure out if I'm ready to play in a game. Skype, you know, everything looks good on my side. Let me see if
Yeah, I'm not getting nothing on this end. I don't hear an echo. Now I'm starting to get one.
All right, test 1 2 1 2. Are we still on repeat? Echo Mac. James Mac said echo.
Yeah, I don't.
Test 1 2 1 2.
No, he said he can't hear you.
How about? Can you hear me?
I always keep Facebook on mute when I do this. I can hear you through Skype.
Oh, let me see if my Skype is on. What's wrong?
All right. Elaine said we loud and clear.
All right. I don't know what we got to figure out how we fixed it. That way we can.
I'm sorry, y'all. We broadcasting straight out of the Nickerson Gardens. We getting bad feedback here.
We straight out the garden. We out here just bootleg. We had one job. Just go live. No problem, sir. What time? We late. How many microphones? Just 2. Sound like 4 to me. You had one job.
Mike.
All right, we gotta make up for lost. We gotta make up for lost time, like a Southwest Airlines late flight. They make up time if they want to. That's what we gotta do tonight, man. We gotta be a little bit quicker getting through these topics so everybody can get to their food. I got some baked chicken, some steamed vegetables waiting for me. So, who you got there, baby girl?
That's baby girl.
Baby girl. You're going to be on the podcast, make our show a lot more prettier than it really is with me and us ugly daddies putting in work.
Her mama, she look like me, and she an ugly little girl. So
no, she look like Miss Mac. All right, man. NBA playoffs, man. The Clippers survive.
Yep.
Are you surprised, happy? What's the emotions with the Clippers playing backs against the wall, pulled out a W, forced Game 7 on Sunday?
I mean, you know, I like both LA teams. Probably a little bit more of a Laker fan because of the liking the Lakers longer. But I want at least one of the LA teams to make it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy. It's just that, but the way the series is going, they're gonna get knocked out from Game 7 because they can't win a playoff game at home. So
yeah,
we'll see. Kawhi. He channeled the inner Mamba mentality tonight.
He channeled it like Book. They channeling Kobe. I saw the lights on the 8 and the 24, and I just went for it. I know he's smiling on me tonight. I say, man, it's fascinating to me where guys pull inspiration from. I mean, if that's what he says, I mean, I gotta go ahead and go. I mean, as a kid, I would get my Air Jordan sneakers and go outside and think I was Michael Jordan. So I really truly believe it's that simple for some people to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to play like somebody else tonight. And you know, I don't know, man. And then the next night, he's trash. But that one, like you said, Book got hot and the bucket looked real big to him. Let's quit saying he was playing like Kobe tonight. He said, when I got to Staples and I looked at that 24 and that 8, and then it's like, well, if that's what it was, he was up there gunning like it was 81 points a game, Kobe Bryant. So I'm like, hey, man, as I study the zone more and read more articles and, you know, do my case studies, I'm going to be taking those types of accounts. It's just like, where did you get the inspiration tonight? What made you think the bucket was 5 feet wide? And why wasn't it that big? Like why can the Clippers play better in Dallas and can't play in LA? Is it really a curse in the Staples Center? I mean, dang.
all the old Lakers like, nah, bro, y'all not winning one here. Y'all got to move to Seattle.
Is it that bad? Is it like the Miami Dolphins not wanting a team to go undefeated? Is it like the Laker greats don't want the Clippers to win in their building? Is that the curse?
Man, I don't know, man. If I knew the formula to all of this stuff, I mean, I would most definitely bottle it up and sell it. But I don't know, man. I kind of get it, finding your inspiration. I always separated me, the person, from me, the athlete. The athlete is Jimmy Mack. The person is Jim McElroy. It's as simple as that. Because I can't be the nice guy. I can't be cool. I got to go out there and I got to try to kill. But I didn't find my inspiration like, oh, today I'm going to have a Bo Jackson type game. I'm going to channel my inner Flipper Anderson. No, man, I was out there trying to knock off somebody's head and get things. Speaking of that, man, I made myself mad today. I watched the Arizona State game from 96, the Jake Plummer game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what possessed me to do that. Oh, man. I was hot at the end of the day, man. I was mad.
Jake Plummer. The snake made us look bad, man. We were back there watching the snake. The snake was slithering. The snake was in there. Yeah, was it?
What was the receiver? Keith Poole.
Oh,
they had game.
And the running back was a Terry Battle. They went to town on us. We put all them in the league. I played with Poole in New Orleans. Cool cat, man. Cool cat. I played with Jake Plummer in Arizona. Really cool cat. He probably still has all his signing bonus still. Just real frugal, man. This cat is a real common cat. Mike Staff said the Clippers should have lost tonight. Kawhi proving why he should have come to the Lakers. Would you have really been happy had Kawhi come to the Lakers?
I know the sports world wouldn't have been. They'd have killed him and LeBron.
Yeah, I think it's happening the way it should. I'm gonna say this, man. I really do feel bad about Anthony Davis. I feel like it's my fault. Tender love in the airwaves. The somebody in another sports group got a hold of it. Now they're calling him tender love around the world. So I'm just like, oh no. And they're coming up with different names for him. So I changed my name to him for Always Doubtful, AD. Always Doubtful. Because tender love, I mean, when they called him street clothes, me and Elaine were laughing about his street clothes. I think street clothes is a little bit more hurtful. Like, dang, that's real. He always in the street clothes. And what was the other name they gave him? Mr. Glass. I feel bad for AD, man. I really do.
I do too. I do in a way, but sometimes I think some of those injuries just be like, man, get up and play, dude. Knock that off. Like, he takes a little bump and he's like, oh.
But it's like crying wolf, because now he really is hurt. And we're like, well, you was playing hooky when you had a hangnail, and your shag hurt. Your hairline was hurting from the haircut you got. Whatever else was making. I mean, the bet at the gym was how many times AD gonna fall before he shut it down. I said 5 times. I didn't get a chance to count them, but before I got home from the gym, he was already out the game, and I was like, well, where's my $2? I bet somebody he wouldn't last past the first quarter. I don't know, man. That poor guy, he can't buy one. I like his press conference though. He owned it. We gotta get healthy. I gotta get some rest. I gotta get back, and don't let Snoop Dogg's comments, make you feel any kind of way. Snoop Dogg gonna be cutthroat. That's how he is. You win a championship, you all good. But you lose, Snoop Dogg coming for the head. That's how he rolls. That's his
persona. That's how he's made his money.
Yeah.
In his life.
Yeah, that's all he do. But don't let that. I think AD's still top 10 player, and then when he's healthy, he's top 5 player. But if you can't get out the ice tub, what can you do? You got to get out them street clothes, bro. Get in uniform. All right, man. So,
no.
What do you think, man? What do the Lakers do at this point?
Lakers just got to get better coaching. I don't know what Vogel was doing. He didn't even play Drummond the last game. Like, Drummond didn't even hit the court. He got to do better coaching, and we probably got to get rid of Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka has made some bad moves over time. I mean, the AD thing, and I think I was saying this to my wife yesterday. We're spoiled, man. Laker fans are spoiled. We got retired for the most championships. We've been to the most finals. We're used to having success. So when the success is here and it's not lasting, or we have it, we get bummed out because we're spoiled, man. It's like being a Yankees fan in the 1930s and 40s. You knew the Yankees were going to win the World Series. They were going to go. They're going to go do it. So now with Laker fans, we are just we just want to. We expect greatness. And you look at all the great players that we've had throughout. I mean, think about this: James Worthy, who is easily a top 100 player in NBA history, one of the best small forwards ever played a game, was considered a role player for a Lakers team. That's how great the Laker tradition is. Shaq, Wilt, Kareem. So we expect success. Even in those years when we wasn't making the playoffs, Laker Nation was hurting. It was really, really hurting. So we gotta get better front office. Our front office chased out Magic. We bring in Kwame Brown, and we trade Mark Gasol back in the days when he was really young for his brother. The Lakers have been made for TV drama, and we got to get rid of that and get right back to what personifies being the Lakers. I mean, we did mortgage off the future. We got rid of all that young talent that's doing well everywhere else to win one chip. Are we gonna stay at one chip? Will it be worth it getting rid of all that young talent for one chip? So it might be some front office moves. Maybe if these guys don't recover and bounce back next season, or you never know, man. We might become the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know.
Oh boy, Mike Stafford said this is the first time since '85 the Lakers haven't repeated. The first non-dynasty since 1972. I never knew that.
That's called being spoiled.
I mean,
that's called.
We used to win double back to backs.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think there needs to be a complete shakeup. I think the roster is good. They just need a healthy AD. Healthy AD is still a championship roster. I think healthy AD cures a mountain hill of problems. You imagine how, how a healthy AD changes the whole outcome of that series. So I just think they need to rest. They're going to use this rest. I believe LeBron James said we're going to use this rest and get some healthy bones, some healthy ligaments, and some, and I think LeBron should kind of like insist that AD use his dietitian and begin to take care of his body, like literally take care of his body, putting some good stuff in it so that he won't be so fragile. I believe Elaine called him bubble wrap. He need to wear bubble wrap walking down the street.
But that's the key. He got to be healthy, though. I mean, we ignored him and his health problems when he was in New Orleans. Nobody cared because nobody was paying attention. But now in LA, it's magnified. You're in their magnifying glass. So every little boo-boo that he gets is magnified.
Every boo-boo, every time he gets contact is a boo-boo. That's why he stays on the three-point line. Shot-Time Mo said Vogel's a good coach when everything is going good. He's not good with adversity. He did okay in the bubble. I mean, healthy AD, though.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't sold on Vogel until he won the championship. I don't know if Lakerland was sold on Vogel. It's kind of like UCLA with Mick Cronin. We weren't sold on Mick Cronin, but when they got to the Final Four, we're like, okay, this guy can coach. So, I mean, I don't think the Lakers need to do a whole bunch. I think they might need to get rid of Schroeder. His mindset is a little bit different than, your typical Laker hard-working, nose-down point guard. Rondo, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, those guys made a huge difference. They knew their roles. I think Schroeder doesn't know his role. When you can score 0 points as a starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers and then come back and take away Los Angeles Lakers point guard off your social media handle like you mad because you didn't get your $100 million. There's some disconnect there. And now today I believe he's saying I want to be a Laker. So I'm like, I don't know, man, if this guy's the guy.
I just think he's trying to play his hand to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Schroeder, I mean, last night, Schroeder did play hard. He did show a lot of heart. He was going, I mean, people have bad games, but I just think he thinks his value and his worth is more than what it is. But, you go for the market value. I was listening to Ray Allen's interview after he had left the Celtics and signed with the Heat, and he was saying, like, I know my value. And even though the Celtics offered me more money than the Heat, the Celtics act like they didn't understand my value. So I had to peace out. Why not play with the better team now? Why not go do that? So he was, sometimes it's about the value of it all, How do you feel about yourself and how does the franchise feel about you? Is the two things that seem to clash a lot with players. So, it's just one of those things that he's going to have to figure it out. I mean, I think we can get another point guard in and either get the same output and probably have less of a problem than what he seems to be presenting right now. Because the last thing you want is a guy who thinks he's more of a star than what he is, out there jacking up shots and going over 12 over 15. So we'll see.
I wonder if Chris Paul is looking to leave Phoenix already because he did not take the extension. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did not sign the player option, I believe, which leads me to believe he's going to try to get one more max deal out of somebody. Would he come play with LeBron, his good friend? I mean, is he good friends with LeBron or not? Because I don't know. I don't think Steph's coming.
No.
It would be, a CP3, LeBron. That would be interesting. I mean, I would probably be preseason. I would pick them.
They'd be old though.
I mean, yeah, they would be old. They would be old. And they're all banged up.
Yep. Because Paul and LeBron will be 37 next year.
Oh boy,
that's two of your best players.
Old heads, boy. What did Magic Johnson say about Dennis Schroeder? I missed it.
I don't know. I didn't either. Once that game was over, I went to go play some MLB The Show. Actually, before that game was over with, I started playing MLB The Show. So I was like, man, I don't want to see this go down because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't even get on social media last night because not that I was mad that people were going to be making fun of the Lakers. It's the hyperbole that was coming out of it. And it's just like, I don't want to hear all that hyperbole, before I go to sleep and get it right. Because, I mean, what I like about the Phoenix Suns, I don't like the fact that they beat the Lakers, but like Monty Williams has been in coaching for a while. People forget when he was with the New Orleans Hornets, he almost had them in the Western Conference Finals with just Chris Paul and Tyson Chandler. So he's been doing a really good job coaching. I'm glad he gets his due. He gets LeBron on his resume now. I took out LeBron. It's an older LeBron, but I took LeBron off. If that team makes a run to the Western Conference Finals, they get past the next round. I mean, that's a good young team. They got a lot of scores. I like Miles Bridges. I like Cam Johnson. Besides Ayton, Chris Paul, and Booker, they got some players.
Cameron Payne.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm more happy for Monty Williams per se. To see a black coach succeeding and at these high levels is always a good thing. It's just that I didn't like it at the expense of my team.
Yeah, I felt that. And I was like, in that moment, I'm like, man, and what if the Clippers get beat? You talking about no California teams going to represent the West. I mean, you got Golden State at the house, Lakers at the house. The Clippers live to play another day. So now we got a Game 7, the kind of drama we want to see as basketball fans. I don't care who your team is. You want to see a Game 7 no matter who's playing. So that's going to be fun to watch. Another matchup. The Nets and the Bucks start this weekend. That's going to be the battle of the Titans right there. I mean, that's two heavyweights. I think that's the championship right there. I don't know. I mean, right now,
you think so?
I think it's the winner of that because I don't know if Embiid can play. I mean, he's tender love part 2. He stay hurt a little bit, and he's been a little bit tougher to play through some stuff. I hope he can go, but I've had a torn meniscus, partially torn meniscus. And if it's in the wrong spot, it can mean lock knee, like your knee can lock up in stride. And they got some medication that can help it prevent it from locking up, but it's dangerous because you can tear the whole thing up. So it's big and strong, and he's 26 years old.
I wouldn't chance it.
I don't think he's gonna play if he can't go 85-90%. Chalk it up because you're close to a chip. You have the pieces to compete with the Bucks and the Nets and get to the finals, but not at the expense of your franchise player for the next 5 years. So I mean, if the medical staff can let AD come out there with that one bad wheel, I'm pretty sure if Embiid
they said he cleared himself.
He cleared himself. I'm like, who cleared him? Dr. Clapper? Like who cleared him? Who we have at UCLA? Dr. What was his name? Feinerman? Dr. Feinerman? He was tearing everybody's shoulders up. I mean,
scope you Feinerman?
Scope it up. Scope it. And your shoulder be
scope your shoulder. I caught a cramp.
Let me scope that out. Yeah, I'll be surprised if Embiid can go. And with that being said, it comes down to the Bucks and Nets for me in the East. And in the West, it's going to be Jazz or Suns. The Clippers, if they survive this, are the Mavericks strong enough to come out and do something to the Suns or the Utah Jazz? I think everyone's sleeping on the Hawks. The Hawks are pretty good, but I don't think they're better than the Bucks and the Nets. I'm happy, man. We got some good games going. I'm not happy about the injuries. I wish injuries weren't a part of the game, but they are.
Yeah,
but they are.
That Hawks team is if Embiid is out, they're gonna give Philly everything they can handle because that means Capella is gonna not be challenged on the boards, and Capella led the NBA in rebounding this season, so that's gonna be very, very tough, man. If Embiid don't go, I got Atlanta in 6. I got the Bucks in 7, and the Bucks will beat Atlanta, even though Trae Young is going to put on a show. But I would love to see, and I've seen this. I would love to see Booker and Trae Young in the finals. I would love to see them just get heated up and go at it in the finals. That's what I would love to see right now. But I think their teams are not mature enough to do it. So we'll see.
The Portland Trail Blazers parted ways with Terry Stotts. I believe it was mutual. Mike said he got fired. I think it was. I mean, I thought his press conference was interesting after the game. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure how fired he got, but they are no longer going with Terry Stotts as the head coach. I'm not sure if that is the answer. I look at the roster. I believe Portland's roster is still a little bit cloudy when it comes to if you're going to build around Dame. And I start questioning, are Dame and CJ really the best backcourt in basketball? I'm kind of wondering if that's true, because they can't get past, themselves and make a dent in the Western Conference.
They don't have good enough big men to complement them. I mean, they thought Nurkic would be that. Nurkic is a 3 times less player than Jokic. That's all he is. They got the same skill set, but he 3 times. He don't have what Jokic have on the inside. Jokic dominated Nurkic in that matchup, and that was the difference. I mean, Jokic, he's without a doubt probably the MVP of the league this year, but that's the difference. Like CJ and Dame, I remember when they played Golden State. CJ and Dame took their pound of flesh from Clay and Steph, but nobody else did anything. If you got to depend on 2 people to do all your scoring like that, that's not going to work. This ain't the 90s basketball where you can have a guy like Michael Jordan score 1/3 of your team points and you win. That's not the NBA right now. These teams ain't scoring 95. These teams getting to 110, 115. And if your backcourt is putting up 80% of your points, but that 80% only gets you at the most 70 points, you're going to lose. So they need something better at the front line. They probably got to let Carmelo go because he's getting long in the tooth as well, and play some of those young guys that they drafted and let them kind of grow. Because when they started playing Anthony Simons, he showed up. The past couple of years they wasn't playing Anthony Simons. Now they're playing him. He's showing up. So if they really wanted to, they can go to a 3-guard set, have 3 good ball handlers that can really break the defense down, and all 3 of them can shoot from the perimeter, and then try to get you rebounding big men who rim run. Like a Montrezl Harrell, even though I can't stand him, would be perfect for that situation. He doesn't need the ball. He can rim run. He can get things. But that team has taken a step back. Remember, they were in the Western Conference Finals 2 seasons ago. Yeah. They taken a step back. So that team is they got to do something. And maybe Dame's too small to really carry a team. Maybe he got the Iverson syndrome. They're great, but they just need to be a little bit bigger. If they was a little bit bigger, they would dominate. So just one of those things.
I think it's when they led what's the kid that ended up going to Detroit? Oh, that was a guy he was from Denver. I'm thinking about another guy that Portland had, but I think Portland has some personnel issues. But a defensive-minded head coach should be able to help that roster they have as is, because they get buckets. They just can't get stops. And I think that comes from a culture, a defensive culture that they don't have, a switch they can hit. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. I'm going to go back up. Mike said Philly is actually pretty good without Embiid. Hey, man, I'm a Philly fan, but I know we struggle when Tobias Harris is not hitting and Seth Curry's not hitting. Ben Simmons ain't going to be hitting. We need an easy bucket. In the playoffs, you must have easy buckets, and our only easy bucket option is Embiid. So Dwight Howard might be more rugged inside. We still need a couple buckets in there. So, I'm hopeful. I hope you're right, Mike. But without Embiid, I don't think it goes past 5, because we barely beat the Wizards without Embiid. The Hawks are way better than the Wizards. So I hope you're right, brother. I hope you're right. Interesting take here. Mike says about the Terry Stotts parting ways. When a white man gets fired, it's called parted ways. Jason Kidd is the number 1 choice. The Lakers have to make a decision to let Vogel go and give the reins to Kidd, or he's gone. Then you can consider Kidd gone. I don't think that's going to happen. This guy won a championship last year. They're not going to fire Vogel right now. Bye, kid. I mean, I believe he's up for the Boston job too. So Jake.
Yeah, but is Jason Kidd that much of a difference maker as a coach? I mean, he did kind of help facilitate that around in Milwaukee.
He's a name.
But Budenhauser, he's the one that really turned it more around. Because remember, Jason Kidd was banking his thing on Michael Carter Williams. Michael Carter Williams is going to be the star of this franchise. He wasn't playing Giannis like that. You know, Giannis wasn't the guy like that in Milwaukee when Kidd was there. So when this kid goes, Giannis blows.
Somebody else was saying Kidd is. I'm like, we don't know if Kidd can coach like that. You know, like it's not like, you know, automatic. Oh, we got J Kidd now, it's on. I don't know. I mean, what's his pedigree except for being a great player? I don't know if he's a great coach. He said Nurkic misses layups. Portland is suffering from the Clippers syndrome. Well, they got their own arena though. The Clippers just can't get out of the Lakers shadow. Who the Portland suffering
from?
What's
the Clippers syndrome? I seen Elaine wrote that. What does she mean by Clippers? What do you mean by Clippers syndrome?
A curse. There's a cursed franchise that can't win.
What's a cursed franchise? That I thought they would be a cursed franchise that their best players are constantly getting hurt. Like, I think if they would have kept what's the guard that they had that was a killer? They got hurt. Brandon Roy. Yeah. They'd have kept Brandon Roy. I think they would have got a championship at some point. Brandon Roy was, without a doubt, a very, very good player. I enjoyed watching Brandon Roy play. But he got hurt.
Yeah, he just couldn't get hurt.
He was a killer.
Greg Oden
play.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I believe Sam Bowie stayed hurt, and Greg Oden stayed hurt. Brandon Roy stayed hurt. They couldn't keep LaMarcus Aldridge. So it's crazy. But I believe Dame making the commitment to stay in Portland is a positive thing for Portland. It may not ever bring Damian a championship, but he's okay with that. He said it. He's cool with that, and I think that's kind of what, for me as a fan of Dame Lillard, I'm kind of respect that. Like, I don't need him to have a championship. I didn't need AI to have a championship. It would have been great, but didn't happen. Just like how Dr. J had to fight and claw to get one. He had to bring in Moses Malone to get one. Sometimes it's just not in the cards for you. Charles Barkley wasn't in the cards for you. Karl Malone, John Stockton wasn't in the cards for you. But you're still great players, and you brought me a lot of happiness.
Nick Wilkins didn't get one.
Didn't get one. And this happens, man. You're still great. It's okay. Mike says, without Embiid, they can beat the Hawks. They can't win the East.
Oh, I don't see that. Because people forget, the Hawks suffered early in the year when they had that other coach. When they brought in Nate McMillan, now they've been on this run. If you check the records, once they got Nate McMillan, they took off. Remember, they wasn't even in the playoff race at first. But then once they got Nate McMillan, they became the hot team. And then they got Hunter back. Hunter was hurt. Bogdanovich was hurt. So that team is healthy now, and they're young. I think their oldest player on the team may be 30. So at least that contributes. Maybe 30. They're athletic. They can shoot. And Trae Young he's the Southeast Steph Curry, man. He the A-Town Curry. Yeah. That man, he lining them up. You see him take a bow at the Garden. Took a bow, hit the shot, and took a bow, man. I mean, I was going for the Knicks series because the Knicks swept them in the regular season. But Atlanta came, man. Atlanta came, and they looked good, man. They looked good. Even whenever they hit adversity against the Knicks, they kept fighting. They looked good, man. I fear that team. I wouldn't want to face that team.
Yeah. Jason Kidd is who Jeannie Buss wanted, but the optics front office said no. The reason why Vogel got the job because he agreed to accept Kidd on his staff. Vogel is on the last year of his contract. He only got a 3-year deal? That's wild. Well, I guess, that's kind of why Ty Lue turned it down, right? He wanted 5 years.
Mm-hmm. So, wait, does Mike Stafford work for the Lakers front office or something?
He loves the Lakers.
He knows the inside?
Yeah, he's an inside scoop guy. Elaine meant Portland has the Clipper syndrome. They can't win in the playoffs. I thought the Trailblazers got to the Western Conference Finals not too long ago.
They got the Western Conference Finals 2 seasons ago, but they lost to
the Clippers. Never got that far, right?
They lost to the KD, Steph, Clay Warriors. So yeah.
All right. Well, it's a lot to talk about. We're gonna continue to talk about it. The NBA is fantastic. We're getting a lot of good sound bites from a lot of people. The NBA, inside the NBA team has been, they said something that had me laughing. I laughed so loud, I forgot what it was. But I know they had a gone fishing picture with the Lakers, and it had a full body cast dude in a wheelchair, and I'm like, is that AD?
Of course it was.
I was like, oh, they doing my man so dirty. Lakers, heal up. Cancun on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cancun. Get your bodies right and come back stronger than you were before. AD, please go with LeBron to the wherever he
holistic
goes. Yeah, wherever he goes. Wherever the soothsayer, massage therapist, whatever he does, you do that too. Whatever he eats, you eat that too. And don't go vegan on us. We need you to be powerful. Don't go Mookie Betts on us and get weak. Because you've been eating pulse and live grass.
Leaves.
Eating Impossible burgers. I was like, what happened to Mookie Betts? He's vegan now. He can't hit. Oh. All right, man. So Naomi Osaka getting a lot of support from the tennis world, from celebrities, and of course you get the Brett Favres, you get the people who are saying she needs to speak. Billie Jean King said she needs to speak. Okay, so they go back saying the media is how fans connect with athletes. Is this true? How important is the media when it comes to sports, and that the game is still being played, fans still connect to athletes? If there was no interview, we still connect. How important is the media? Is it something that should be mandatory?
The media is a sorting hat in Hogwarts. The media will pick and choose superstar who we need to be interested in, person we don't care about, villain, anti-hero. That's how they sort you out. So depending on how, because they don't ask everybody the same questions. For instance, Brett Favre was a pill popper and a drunkard. He was way more loved than Aaron Rodgers, who's actually very smart, very articulate. But Aaron Rodgers is a malcontent because the sorting hat says that Aaron Rodgers is a malcontent. Or Brett Favre is jolly good wizards, Batman. Yeah, let's do this. It's all about football. It's all about the game. I love the game. Where other people are not. So the media is very important as on how they're going to spin these athletes, how they're going to make you enjoy an athlete, love an athlete. Is this athlete a winner? Is this athlete clutch? Is this athlete got heart? You know, I've been telling people for a long time that Jimmy Butler is smoke and mirrors. He's going to do a lot of tough stuff, but at the end of the day, he's not that guy. And this year it shows, but still the narrative has been spent that Jimmy Butler's a guy you want in your trenches. He's a good guy. We love his story. He's a very interesting person. But Jimmy Butler went to Philly and he ruffled the feathers of Philly's franchise players. He went in there and tried to Tebow the whole thing. So they were like, okay, you leaving, bye. You know, yeah, Miami got to the finals, but Dragic was the driving force of that. Nobody wants to talk about that. Because why? Dragic is not interesting. We don't care about him. So the media is going to spin that, and they're going to make you into who you are and who all of us social media pundits, you know, the podcasters and stuff, we're going to talk about it too, because we're going to take our take because the media has access to them, and then we just read between the lines of what that access is or what they're saying, and then we'll go with our own narrative as well. But I think with Naomi Osaka, and I'll say this to any athlete out there, because I know when at the end of my time, when I was in San Francisco, I was having some psychological problems when it came to dealing with, okay, the ride is over with. My dream is done. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take care of your mental health. You have to take care of that, because your mental health don't just affect you. Your mental health affects your family, your friends, everybody that you love and come in contact with. If your mental health is not right, it's going to affect them too. So you got to be careful with that. And that's why we have all these tragedies, because nobody's listening to these people when they're crying out for help. They're not listening to these people. It's like, no, you have a media obligation. No, you need to spend 15 minutes with us. Personally, I think we should hire Marshawn Lynch as the media coach for everybody. And he goes up there and he's with them. And when they don't want to say something, Marshawn Lynch goes, nope. Hey, we here not to get fined. I'm just here not to get fined. Not today. We're not going to do it, because these media, they have media trolls people who are trying to pull something out of you to create a story. You know, hey, we heard that Lemon Pepper Lou. We heard you was at at what's the place in Atlanta? Cheeks. We heard you was there. So it's they create the narrative of what they want us to believe and how things go. So they're very important. But I mean, could the games play without them? Could everything be great without them? Yeah.
We doing a podcast. We ain't had nobody on the show that played tonight, and we gonna talk about the game without a sound bite from Kawhi Leonard. I just think I was just like, when did it become? It kind of reminds me of, why do we have to stand for the national anthem at a basketball game or a football game? When did it become mandatory that we do these things? Who was the nose blower that said, you know what, we should make the athletes talk to us, put it in the contract? And it's kind of like, because the fans deserve to hear me ask you questions that are condescending. They deserve to hear me ask you questions that question your ability to play under pressure. Because that's kind of what I'm hearing is the athletes, when you get Westbrook or Marshawn Lynch or Naomi Osaka, who don't want to answer the questions of a press that is condescending and patronizing, you get answers. Shaq used to give one-word answers. No. Yes. Kobe passed me the ball and we won. You know, it was just a song and dance, maybe a tap dance. Let's see what's up here. Mike said the social media, it's irrelevant if they can control their own narrative. So to say they need the media is outdated mythology. I agree, it's outdated. John McEnroe had a great take. He said it reminded him when Bjorn Borg left tennis, and that she could leave tennis and that would not be good. That was my take last week. Like, that's the best form of protest, is just shut it down.
No, they'll prop somebody up if she left. They'll prop somebody up.
But we'll still be like, where's Naomi? You know what I'm saying? She's good, but she's not Naomi.
I mean, just remember what they did with Anna Kournikova. She was terrible. I mean, she could beat us, but she was terrible. You would thought that Anna Kournikova was winning French Opens, Wimbledon's, U.S. Opens. You know, and that's why the one girl, Martina Hingis, gave her all the smoke she could every time she played her. And every time she talked to her, she talked bad about her, because it was like, why is the media pumping this no talent person up because she's cute? They'll pump somebody up. They'll find somebody. Even when the person ain't good, they'll find somebody. What's the lone girl? The lone girl that Serena and Venus kept kicking her butt. She won maybe a couple of majors,
Davenport?
but they loved her.
Davenport?
Not Davenport. She came after them. She's Russian too.
Was she blonde?
Kind of blondish, maybe red hairish. I can't think her name, but they used to pump her up so much, and Venus and Serena would just beat up on her when they got to Grand Slam finals. I can't think her name.
But I'm saying though, even if they put somebody up there and she can't play, you know what I'm saying? They try to put Kournikova up there, but she couldn't play. So I just know that the talent will rise. So what you gonna do when she decides to retire from the game, unless you guys allow me to speak to the reporters I want to speak to? And I know Stephen A. Smith will have something to say about it. Every media pundit is going to have something to say about it. You're not letting us do our job. You can still do your job. Matter of fact, if you do your job so well, athletes will choose you to be the person that interviews them. Now, if you become that person that's always Jim Gray, asking something that's all off topic and trying to make me seem like a villain, you know, when he used to do Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, I'm like, well, shoot, if you get that reputation, you won't get your answer to your questions in the press conference. Naomi, it's Jim Gray, ABC. And she'll be like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And then, you know, if she don't like doing that because she's a nice young girl, a nice young lady. Yeah. So she ain't Venus. Venus will sit there and smile at you and be like, fool, please, you can't even play tennis. What you asking me about? What you know about tennis? And it's a different
forehand.
Yeah.
You don't know about no forehand.
Talking about your forehand serve is off tonight. Oh, really? Was it? I'll play you right now.
Yep.
We'll see.
And the girl I'm talking about was Maria Sharapova. Sharapova had game, but she wasn't the best. Yeah. And they loved her. She was getting all the commercials. They were doing all that. So they'll prop somebody up if they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with Elaine right now. Tennis does need Naomi, but they need Naomi on Naomi's terms, because you can drive her away from the sport and we will miss one of the great talents probably ever. she's still young.
Yeah.
One of the great talents ever. And because why? Y'all just got to have this access. You just got to have this access. You just got to have this access. And that's not good, man. It's not good. Especially if she has anxiety. She said that she would sit in the locker room and she would see Serena coming by and she would put her headphones on and look at her phone like she was listening to music, so she just wouldn't have to speak. You have people like that, man. They're just not conversationalists. Yeah. They're kind of awkward in conversations. You don't want to drive those people away, man, because you can really drive those people into a very dark place. And that would be tragic, and we don't want tragedy. We've dealt with enough tragedy right now. The last thing we want is to lose Naomi Osaka because the media chased her away. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's crazy, and the media should take this warning. Remember, HBO Boxing used to basically control boxing, but Jim Lampley was so biased and so terrible in the way he
had to turn the sound down and watch the fight.
Yep, you have to turn the sound down. So then HBO lost its ratings, especially once Showtime stepped up, and then DAZN came in, and then PBC came in. HBO started lacking now because boxers got tired of listening to Lampley criticize and destroy certain boxers, and then praise other boxers. And then you can tell that it was a color thing with him, because he would do his own guys like Andre Ward or Bernard Hopkins, whoever the black dude was there, when they were boxing, he wouldn't even be for them. Like, that's your colleague. You're not even for them. You want them to lose. Always that he was going for the white boxer. So you gotta heed that warning, because nobody thought HBO Boxing would ever go out. Yeah. You gotta watch how you spin narratives, because after a while, people start to lose interest.
Mike said,
for hearing one side.
Yeah, Mike says the media controls the narratives. So when did that become common? Like, why do media writers and broadcasters vote on prestigious awards? They don't play.
The age of ESPN, they made the reporter important. Like, Stephen A. Smith is more famous than 90% of the NBA, and he don't make no shots. He don't do nothing but be loud. And Kwame Brown called him a bald-headed bee. He just scream and yell and do all of that. So Skip Bayless, he's known for being an antagonist. The sports writer, you know how they say when the pen becomes mightier than the sword? Yeah. That's what we're finding out in sports now. The pen is mightier than the sword now. The sports reporters are just as famous as the people that they're reporting on now. Back in the days, you didn't know Bill Plaschke, you didn't know AJ Adonde and stuff like that, but ESPN gave them a super platform, and now these dudes are big media personalities. I mean, look at Kerry Champion, our former schoolmate at UCLA. Kerry Champion is, super big, great platform, because we have made the pen mightier than the sword when it comes to sports now.
Yeah, but a lot of these guys weren't even like beat writers first. They just became personalities, and now they can talk trash. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm still baffled that Mel Kiper gets to pick who's the number one to pick every year. He's never right.
And don't break, man. I hate Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper bashed me. He talked bad about me.
I mean, how often is he wrong? I mean, he's always wrong in my opinion. Like, best available. I'm like, dude, how do you know? How do you evaluate talent? Like,
because I pour over tons and tons of film and I see these guys.
Oh man, you looking at talent, you don't know what you're looking at. Did you play? Did Mel Kiper play? Did he coach?
I don't think so. Remember, he inherited that job from his dad.
Man, and it's really evident. It really is evident. So the media needs to find a way in this time in 2021 to back off. The tennis federations have a difficult but obvious way to fix this, and that's kind of to change how they're going to approach covering athletes if they want them to be accessible. It has to be some type of compromise. As it is right now, I see more athletes saying, forget it then. I don't want to do that. And if I do that, I'm not going to speak. And it's going to be a Marshawn Lynch situation every time they come to the podium. And what is that? Is that going to make anything better? She told you she didn't like doing it. So now you get what you get. No thank you. No comment. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth, no comment. I'm only here so I don't get fined. Thank you. And she walks off. Well, you got what you wanted, huh? She refuses to talk to us. Get what you get, man. She's trying to let y'all know this is not what she wants to do.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's see. What's next? The USFL.
USFL.
The USFL's coming back.
LA Express, baby, bring them back.
All right, man. I'm kind of jacked up because the USFL actually worked for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
How can they make this work this time around?
You can't. NFL's too big now.
Oh.
Nobody's going to be really all that interest right now. We got a pro spring league right now. How many games have you watched, JC?
I watched about 5 minutes.
There you go. You watched 1 minute more than I have.
I was trying to find somebody I recognized. I
couldn't do it. Even though last year before we went on pandemic, they had that other league that was going, and one of the quarterback, Walker, that was played for the St. Louis team. He ended up playing for Carolina and even got in the game and played. So it can help give like another opportunity to be seen, kind of like how when we went to Europe, it can do that, but it's not going to be like how remember the USFL had stars, man. They had Reggie White, They had Steve Young, they had Jim Kelly, they had Herschel Walker. They had stars, man. They had some really good cats in that USFL where you saw really good football being played. It was comparable to the NFL. The NFL has gotten too big now. There's nothing that's going to take away from that. Like even Canadian football. Canadian football is up there and it's successful, but it's in Canada. We barely see Canadian games because we know that it ain't the NFL. We're not going to see the Randy Mosses. We're not going to see, Kamara. We're not going to see those guys. In the USFL, I knew if I turned on the TV and the New Jersey Generals was playing, I'm going to see a great running back. I'm going to see Herschel Walker. You're not going to get that. The NFL has made it to where, well, the owners of the USFL back in the days messed up so bad with the money. Trump and those other guys messed up so much with the money that they made that league fail, because the league was successful. People were watching it. They had fans, all that stuff. But they messed that up. So the one opportunity that the USFL had a chance to thrive, greed and poor management messed that up. Because they, like I said, they had players. I mean, they had maybe 8, 9, or 10 players that are NFL Hall of Famers. NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, shoot, Reggie White is considered the greatest defensive lineman that ever played a game. He was in the USFL, got a start in the USFL. So they had great talent there. So, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, you might get the dudes who play semi-pro, try to get on some of the teams.
Homies? No.
That's good for them to get paid. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think so.
I honestly believe with the right amount of capital, cash on hand, and if they play into the idea of inclusion with black owners and bringing in notable name head coaches as HBCUs are doing, and actually go after the best talent just like the USFL did. So you see the kids that are now opting to go to the G League and to these other leagues in basketball. And if you pay well, it's like how they pay Reggie and Herschel and Steve Young and Anthony Carter and Bobby Hebert. All these guys went straight to the USFL because they had nice signing bonuses. They had a nice salary comparable to an NFL salary. They got a sweet spot where if they have enough capital and they find a sweet spot during the season that they don't interfere. Because if you're going to be a developmental league nobody watches, or you're going to be a big dog and go for it. I believe if you're going to do it, the only way we're going to watch it is if you say, we're going to get DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson as a number 1 pick. And we're going to get the other kid, who else is a Heisman Trophy candidate, to go to the USFL as well. We got the top 3 quarterbacks of this next draft. We got the top 3 running backs, the top 3 receivers, and they're all coming because we're paying them more than most NFL rookies get paid. That's the only way it's going to work, in my opinion, that they got to pay these kids to come play so we will watch the stars of tomorrow. If they go back and get the guys who can't make a team in the NFL, they get the Arena League kids who got nowhere to play. They're sitting at the house waiting for a phone call. I believe, just like the WNBA, they lack star power. If you bring stars, we will watch. It ain't gotta be no gimmicks. He hate me on the back of my jersey and pre-game fumble Rooski, who gets the ball for the kickoff for the fumble Rooski race. All those gimmicks, man. The USFL had a good product because they had the best players, and we became fans because they had sweet uniforms. They were strategically placed in different cities around the country that didn't really have, a big name football team or a big name star on their football team. There was some overlap. I believe they had a Houston team, Houston Gamblers, and they had the Houston Oilers. But the Houston Gamblers had Jim Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Kelly, future Hall of Famer. It's a matter of putting together good teams of football minds. And then strategically putting the name, the names, and this is where the media comes in. The media can really help in this. This is where the media becomes important when they want to write narratives. If the media destroys it, if the media continues to say, oh, it's a gimmicky league, it's not good football, and then we'll believe that. But when we saw the USFL back in the 80s,
it was good.
It was good. I mean, so they need to go ahead and watch that film and then take notes of how the owners messed it up and go the opposite direction of what they did with that. And I think they got a chance, man. I think it does have a chance because of all the issues we're seeing with the Aaron Rodgers and the, Watson, all these guys not being happy where they are. Don't you think if Deshaun Watson came to the USFL, Aaron Rodgers came to the USFL, and you get a couple of rookies from Clemson and Alabama to come to USFL, okay, the disgruntled NFL players, not the ones that can't play, the ones that are mad. I don't know, man. I think it has a chance. Small, slim chance. But it got to be a lot of money involved. A lot of money.
Who's your team in the USFL? Who's your team?
Michigan Panthers. Anthony Carter and Bobby Hebert, bro. They had them burgundy and silver, light blue uniforms. Oh, man, that was cold, man. That was my team, man. I don't know why, but that Panther on that helmet was so cold to me, man. That was my favorite team. How about you?
My favorite team, I had 2 of them. I had LA Express and I had the Memphis Steamboats. I love the Steamboats helmets. My Pop Warner team at Inglewood, we did that with the Steamboats. How they had their helmets, we did that with the two lines like that, and people loved it, man. So those are my 2 teams, man. I really enjoyed watching the Express because they were the home team, and then that Steamboat helmet was too tight for me. I like that. I like that.
How many teams were in the USFL the first time around?
The first year they had 12, then they expanded to 16. Or no, 17. They expanded to 17. No, more than that. They expanded to 9 and 9, 18 teams, and they capped off at 18 teams because that last year in 1985, that's when people couldn't get paid. They had to get their checks and leave practice area to try to cash them before it bounced. So if you seen that 30 for 30 on that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. Jim, what's up, girl? So I hope it works out, man. I don't know if I'm that hard up to watch football, but if it's some good football with some good matchups, I'll watch it. I watched Arena League when I wasn't playing because I knew guys that played, and I knew it would be exciting to watch. When I can connect to people that I'll watch, of course I'll watch UCLA, USC. There's always kids I know playing, and I have a connection. Of course, we're from UCLA and whatnot, but there's got to be a connection to a team. So I think marketing is going to be so important. And don't use no WWE antics in football. It does not work. It's not sustainable. I believe you can use some of their over-the-top marketing of certain individuals But I don't think the game itself, the rules of the game, should be kind of, it should be etched in stone. This is how football is played. But how we promote our players, if they got pre-game interviews and guys got some moxie and they can talk, give them a mic. What you got to say about tonight's game? Oh man, these fools ain't got a chance. I don't know if you get a Brandon Marshall type guy, let him go hard.
Yeah.
Just let him talk trash. And I'd watch it. I watch He Hate Me because he said he hate me. And then I watched the game and it was, a letdown. But I watched it.
I mean, what you can do is you can get guys like Vince McMahon on a team. You get these owners with high stake personalities that can do it. I mean, and don't limit it. You know how really like in sports, as an owner, you can't own two teams. I would love to see Mark Cuban own a football team.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it won't be the NFL, it'll be more the USFL. Because a guy like Mark Cuban has that competitive edge. He's going to want to win. He's going to put money and he's going to put effort into it. So don't limit who can own the teams, even if they already have, as long as it ain't another NFL owner owning a team. But let some of these other owners, own a team. Let the Steinbrenner family own a football team. I'm quite sure they would love to manage something like that. The Yankees organization is on autopilot right now. They would love, let those, because people are fans of these owners as well. So let them do that. And like you said, get coaches that people want to see coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like that, but guys should get an opportunity. And do those things like that, man. I think, and have a guy like Tony Dungy run the league, a guy with integrity, a guy who has a name that stands for something.
Yeah.
Have him actually run the league. Don't have a non-football person run the league. Like people forget the NFL when it first came out, the owner or the guy who was the commissioner was a football guy. He's a football guy. Have football guys do it, and it'll go smooth. But I still think it's a little bit too late for that, because the NFL is the main brand, and people know that you can get seen more for the NFL. The NFL carries weight. It's like the difference between a Cal degree and a
Fresno State.
There's no state degree. It's a difference. They both colleges.
No hating on the Fresno State homies. No hating, but my coach told me that point blank. You do not go to Fresno State over Cal Berkeley. End of discussion. But I'm thinking the NFL has a crack in the armor with the social injustice and racism that we've seen in the last couple of years. And we have the NFL as a very racist entity. The Shield will not allow a black owner. So I believe there's something there we can be capitalized on, that this is a league that invites everybody. It's not the good old boys of 1950. This is the 2022 USFL. If you got the capital, we'll allow you to be an owner. We encourage, it could be black, white, gay, straight, whatever you are. If you want to own a football team and you have the capital to do so, a city that you want to work, a stadium to play in, bring it, because the NFL is not going to let you do that. The NFL is a good old boy union, and you're not getting in there.
What would be interesting, and I think this will make it go, get Jordan and LeBron to own teams. Since people love to compare them, let them own a team, starting from a new league from scratch. You will get people interested. You'll get people vested in it, because they will love to see their teams go against each other. It'll start a new rivalry in that league, and that's what sells. That's what sells leagues, rivalries.
Go even further, man. Give Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, give everybody that got some juice and some money that loves sport. They have to be sports heads. They just can't be rich folks. They got to be sports heads that you can throw a mic in front of them too. If the media wants to dictate everything.
Does Jay-Z like sports like that though?
He has a sports agency. Athletes sign with.
That doesn't mean he likes. Means he likes money.
He likes to be at the sporting events. He's seen. He's a worldwide global sale. I think it'll work, man. You just get partners. Just like if the Jazz can have Dwayne Wade as a partner in the Utah Jazz, why Dwayne Wade? Why the Jazz? But he brings notoriety.
Because that's what allowed him to buy in.
Magic Johnson owns a piece of the Dodgers. What does Magic Johnson know about baseball? He just loves the Dodgers. I think it means something, man. I think it will carry some weight. We'll see how it goes. I believe people like Dwayne Johnson will be involved, and mega rich people that love football and want to have an ownership piece of a franchise, this might be a way to do it. And it's going to be interesting to see. We'll see.
Let Trump on the team too.
Yeah, Trump on the team. I didn't dislike Trump when he was just a talk show host. Or not a talk show host, but a reality TV show host. He was a terrible president. But when he was just firing folks on The Apprentice, I thought it was entertaining. And if he goes back to doing that, I have no problems with him. He just not fit to be the president of the United States. But he was
because with allow him to own a team, you create a villain.
Yeah,
we love villains.
He's Jerry Jones already.
Yep.
Get a bunch of rich ex-athletes and entertainers to do a Negro League. Whoa, now you're talking, Mike. Straight up, bruhs. Straight up, bruhs. Negro Leagues, man. Whoa, but that happened. They'll probably not let it happen, just like Tulsa, Oklahoma. It won't let it happen. It'll never happen. You know how they roll. Mm-hmm. All right, man, let's get up out of here a little bit. Quickly, man. I just saw this happen on my timeline. Tiffany Haddish to star as Olympian icon Florence Griffith Joyner. I don't know how I feel about this.
I can tell you how I feel about this. Honey, Tiffany Haddish is playing FloJo. What you think?
I thought about it some more, because at first I was like, oh, no. Now I'm like, she producing that mug.
Because you producing it don't mean that you should act.
And Al Joyner is training her to play her. Hey, I'm just saying.
Tiffany Haddish acting chops are not that good.
Oh my God.
To me, she's not really that funny either. But I mean, I can't see her pulling it off because FloJo embodied grace and class. So you would have to do that. I don't know. She's not a good actress. That's like telling Kevin Hart, hey, Kevin Hart, we need you to play Malcolm X. We know that ain't going the right way. First of all, he's too short, and that's not going the right way.
Oh, man.
So I don't know, man. FloJo has to be glamorous. I don't see Tiffany Haddish as being glamorous. I don't even think Tiffany Haddish is all that attractive. I would say maybe get a Regina Hall. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody else that can pass off as being athletic. Because remember how they did Sanaa Lathan in Love and Basketball, where they tried to make her a basketball player? Yeah. It really wasn't that convincing. It's a good movie, but it wasn't convincing. We wasn't there to see her to play basketball. We were there to see the love aspect of it. But Tiffany Haddish is going to have to actually run. Can you get her track form together? Can you get her running form? She's going to have to be conditioned because she's going to have to run.
She's doing it now.
Hey, I've trained many an athlete to run track. Don't mean that they can run track. Did
y'all see Tyra Banks in Higher Learning? It just
yeah, she didn't look right.
It doesn't look right. I'm just like, when I saw the post, I believe Lenny Graham posted it, and I'm just like, Tiffany Haddish has had her moments where she's been cute and attractive, but it's not majority of the time. It's not as like FloJo on her bad day. Even when FloJo didn't have her weave in, she was still gorgeous. And not just because she was a light skin. I mean, I got some chocolate chips I can name off on you. But FloJo, for when she was the one, FloJo was our one. And I just know us old heads that are 40 and up, and we saw FloJo in her prime, and you gonna put Tiffany Haddish up there, she is on the clock. If she don't come with it, like old girl that played Aaliyah, she is fired. She is no longer even allowed to be played in my house because she destroyed the Aaliyah character. If Tiffany Haddish smokes this, I don't know if she can play in my house, man. I don't know if she can pull it off. I think this is like career suicide.
Yes. But you know what? It's because some people say, okay, so say if she did do a good job, it's still not what we would have wanted out of it. I mean, because when we think about these iconic athletes, like Will Smith did a damn good job as Ali. You know what I'm saying? He did a damn good job as Ali, but he's still not Ali. There's things that you can take away from that and go, and that performance wasn't that good. Even though I think Will Smith did a damn good job as Ali. So when you're doing these things, you got to think about who that person is, who you're going to have play that person, and how is that going to work? You know what I'm saying? Because if you do it bad, like you said, old girl that played Aaliyah, she don't get no more run in your house. I mean,
she's fired, man.
I already Tiffany short leash with me. She messed this up. I would never watch anything Tiffany Haddish do again. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough, man, because you're talking about people's heroes.
Yeah.
FloJo made track and field attractive. Yes, we had Carl Lewis, we had the Ben Johnsons, we had Edwin Moses, but she made it attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she made it to where people like, I should tune in to watch this track meet. FloJo gonna run 2 races, but I'm gonna watch every race to get to her races because I don't know the order of a track meet. It made you learn the order of a track meet, so you can see, okay, they're gonna run 100 right here, they're gonna run a 200 there, so I can skip all these other ones. But you're waiting for her to hit the track. So she made track and field. It was already a global thing because of the Olympics, but she put the ribbon on top of it. You know what I'm saying? She put the ribbon on top where people like, wow. Because now when we think about track and field athletes, the women are not only great runners, you see them with flash and flair, and they're attractive. They've got makeup, they got eyelashes, they got their hair done. It's not an ugly girl sport no more. It's most definitely for the fast and the beautiful. So if Tiffany Haddish can't pull this off, she will. I wouldn't say she'll commit career suicide because I'm quite sure she can make jokes about how bad she acted. But we want to see a biopic that's going to be good if you do FloJo.
Yeah, I'm pulling for it if she can pull this off. Now, Mike has a suggestion of who can play FloJo. I'm trying to pull it up. The young lady from Rookie in Big Sky. She's attractive. She's athletic. But is she well known? I think it needs I don't know. Does it need a star?
No, what you need, this is what I think you should do. Find a up and coming young track girl who's not very great, who can pull off the running aspect of it, and then just teach her how to act in the short run. People that are highly competitive, you can teach them how to act. You can teach them to get on stage and have a stage presence and a camera presence because they're used. When you're trying to be a great athlete, you think about that stuff. You have to think about it. You know, what's the limelight going to be? Just teach her and just coach her through her scenes. But the running aspect, FloJo was a runner. The running aspect will be it.
She has to be able to run.
She
has to have.
She can't be out there.
She has to have huge eyes, big lips, and legs to her neck. It's gonna. I mean,
yeah.
As my male chauvinist pig is showing up, she must be gorgeous, and she must be able to run. I mean, do they get Sha'Carri Richardson to play her? Can she pull it off? Probably not. But
you know, Sha'Carri Richardson has a personality though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you probably could coach her into really doing it, but she doesn't look the FloJo.
Yeah.
You know, the FloJo-ish type. I would say Sydney McLaughlin. But Sydney is so big that it would take her out of it.
She kind of managed. She got a little, her jaw is a little bit big. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have my eye out. I'm gonna be suggesting. I'm gonna be tweeting Tiff like Tiff. I'm happy you producing the show, Mama. But I don't know. You gonna hurt my heart if you don't pull this off. I'm gonna need to see some video footage of you running and you acting, because I don't think FloJo was a jokester at all. She was very, very elegant, very
woman.
regal, and about her business. So I don't know. Mike said the girl from Big Sky is perfect. We'll see. He said Beyonce is a terrible actress, but she would have been a better Beyonce. Can Beyonce run? I've never seen Beyonce run. I've seen her switch, but she ain't never seen her run.
Yeah. Because you don't want the person who's going to be doing the running scenes to be looking like Kenny Smith running to the board. Like that ain't convincing.
That ain't no. Hey man, have you seen the show All American?
Yeah.
And you see them do football scenes? It's terrible, man. I mean,
it's not realistic.
Even when I used to watch the game, and they say I look like Pooch Hall. They say, man, you look just like Pooch Hall. I say, when I see Pooch Hall run routes. Nah, man. All them dudes is terrible. All them dudes is they do football scenes. I said, if you want to show the work, quit doing football scenes. This is terrible, man. And
just cut away.
Do cutaways, show man. Them just do like Boys in the Hood. Just do like Boys in the Hood and get you a real football play and play that and pretend that's Ricky. Yeah, that's me. Crenshaw versus Locke or whatever. That's me on busting down the sideline. Yeah, she's going to have to run, man. And she's going to have to do it gracefully with form. Rodney Sausage.
And he got it.
He said Hollywood.
He said it should be Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift play FloJo and give her some blackface. Taylor Swift, come on, man. They're going to make me mad. All right, man. So I was throw it out there to you, man. Who needs a biopic? If they're going to do a FloJo biopic, who else out there you think in the sports world needs a biopic, and who would play him?
It'd have to be somebody like a FloJo where they were so captivating. You can't do a Gary Payton biopic. It's just not gonna work. He's a great player, but I don't think people would care. I was thinking about it, man. I was going through my list. Who would you really want to see in a biopic? You know what I'm saying? Or would we be that intrigued? There's only a couple of people I thought about that people would literally want to see a biopic of. People would love to see a Kobe one. You know what I'm saying? People would love to see it, call it the Mamba. You know what I'm saying? People would love to see that.
Who would play?
People would love to see a Deion Sanders one. Who would play Kobe? That's the thing. Who could play Kobe?
Who?
I don't think nobody could. I don't think, because you would have to be able to copy his persona, the way he chews, his cadence in his talk. He took that from Michael Jordan. So who's going to take that from him? Who can do that? You know what I'm saying? And then still look the part. You can't just have somebody out there, doing it. You can't have Afion Crockett out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? Making impressions.
So Afion Crockett gonna play Tiger Woods. Could he pull that off?
He could pull that off.
Big teeth, but could he act and be serious? Because Tiger Woods is really corny.
So, very serious.
Very serious.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man, because it's hard. Think about it. What if somebody did an Allen Iverson biopic? Who you gonna pull off? Who you gonna pull off? You know what I'm saying?
Somebody like a young Nelly. There's plenty of small guys in Hollywood to play AI. But the problem with that is, for the Kobe's,
you gonna have to play AI.
It's gonna have to really be a really good play. I guess it'll be a really good casting. Like, I saw the Salt and Pepper biopic, and I was disappointed in the women they chose for Salt and Pepper, because I was a huge Salt and Pepper fan. You gonna bring me two regular sisters? After a while, I got okay with it, but I was just like, you don't understand how much I love Salt and Pepper back in the 80s. And then you're going to give me two regular sisters to play Salt and Pepper? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Everybody said Deion Sanders.
It's hard, man.
Arthur Ashe. That would be a good one. I want to see a Lawrence Taylor biopic. Lawrence Taylor. Who's going to play him? The brother from Snowfall. The uncle. The brother with the Jerry curl. He talked real loud and he walked real wide. He would have to probably, he not big in Hollywood like a C-list, but I think he could pull it off with Lawrence Taylor. Doing coke, talking crazy, wearing the earring with the LT on it, talking trash to everybody. I think that would be fun to watch.
One that I thought would be fun, this is the only one I kind of thought that somebody could possibly pull it off, a T.O. biopic.
T.O.?
Because he's so polarizing, and somebody who wouldn't want to do the celebrations, all the celebrations on the star, the popcorn in your face, imitating the Ray Lewis, who wouldn't want to do that, just in act, because you'll be acting in your acting. Like, I'll be acting as I'm T.O., but I'm acting to be doing other things and stuff like that. I would love to see that one. And I thought one that my wife would love to see. She would love to see the Steve Smith biopic.
Oh, you just named off two people. Just named off two people that will play themselves. You just named off two people that will play themselves in their own biopic. Those two dudes have the biggest egos. T.O. still plays ball with Deacon Hill. And he's still talking trash, still dunking on people, and still talking the loudest in the whole gym. T.O. will play himself in the biopic, as would Steve Smith Sr. play himself. And he'll be in the cast and be like, this can't play me. You ain't.
Exactly.
Move out the way. Let me show you how to do it. You can't play
just
me.
Just outtakes of those would be great.
He's like, this is what you got to say. I love me some me. You got to say it like you mean it. Help is on the way. Shannon Sharp biopic. Talking.
Shannon Sharp biopic would be straight hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Because he talked messing a little bit.
Oh, man. Sugar Ray Leonard would be a good one. Roberto Duran is a good one. Yeah, I saw the Roberto Duran one.
The Hands of Stone.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was good. Jim Brown. Jim Brown. I think that would be good, but he's kind of stoic. I think it would have to be a personality, like a Charles Barkley biopic would be hilarious. It would have to be a larger than life type of actor though. I want to see the.
I thought about maybe a Shaq one, but who are you gonna get to be that big and that's
impossible.
That childish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was being mean. I said I want to see the Brittany Griner biopic, and it'd be starring Keith Kloss. Don't nobody tell Brittany Griner. I don't want Brittany Griner coming after me.
You would want Keith Kloss to come after you though, but you don't want Brittany Griner.
I could take Keith Kloss.
I
could take Keith Kloss. I can't take Brittany Griner. She'll dunk on me. Yeah. Wesley Snipes can be Shannon Sharp. Oh man, that would be funny.
But Wesley is so short.
Yeah, but I think if you cast a bunch of 5'5" people and have him looking big. I mean, they do it. They do that. They'll cast everybody under 5'9" so he looks like he's a big guy. I'm not sure how short Wesley Snipes is. He looks.
No, you know who played Shannon Sharp, and I think he can pull it off. Honey, what's your guy's name? And from Morris Chestnut.
Oh, Morris Chestnut.
I think Morris Chestnut would be a good Shannon Sharp.
Could he pull that off? Because he played a football player in The Best Man. Was that The Best Man?
Yeah. Yes.
And Ricky.
Yeah, and he was Ricky. He was Ricky in Boys in the Hood.
But he didn't talk trash like Shannon Sharp. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. He got to have really big words, really, really big, and come on, Skip.
He can do it.
Skip.
He's a good actor, so he can
pull it off. He have to really go there. But why would you do a Shannon Sharp biopic right now? So I just know I like the idea of Arthur Ashe. I like LT. I like who else? They said Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson. I like Elaine said Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson was a character.
Sign up for it. I'll watch it. Most definitely, I'll watch it.
Who would play Ricky Henderson? Probably Jamie Foxx.
You think so?
I mean, to go into character and imitate Ricky Henderson would have to be a very talented impersonator. Because Ricky said some stuff, man. Ricky used to say some stuff. Ricky said he loved him some meat. He loved me some. Ricky Henderson gonna steal third base. Hey, Ricky Henderson gonna he would talk about himself in the third person. So it'll take a talented actor to play Ricky Henderson. But I would watch that movie, man. All right, man. Let's get out of here, man. What you got to say on the way out?
Well, I got to say on the way out, this week has been I wouldn't want to say a tough week per se, but I just realized this is the first group of students that I've had in my class. I've been teaching for 16 years now. I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know them, and I might never know them. You know, Zoom meetings and stuff like that is one thing. And a lot of those students this week, knowing that we're coming to the end, some of them got really emotional because they're, especially the seniors, their futures are uncertain, especially in this time. It used to be kind of clear cut. I'm gonna go out into the world, either go to school, I'm gonna go to work, do those type of things. But we're in some very uncertain times right now, and you can kind of see that they feel that they don't know how to attack the world. They don't know how to approach it. They have some plans, but they're not for sure if those plans will work in this timeline, as I would say. So let's pray for these young people as they're going out into the world. The younger classmen, they got time. Maybe we'll get to the normalcy when they get up there. But for these graduating seniors, man, let's put them all in our prayers, man, because they're about to hit a world that even us as adults don't fully recognize yet and don't know what's going to be the outcome. But let's keep those young people in mind, because if they don't get it together, man, it's going to be a generation that's going to be out there lost. And that's not going to be good, especially for the ones that are not economically privileged. Say it that way, because they're going to have an even tougher road. So let's keep those young people in prayer, man, because this is, like I said, this is the first time I don't really know my students, and it's scary because I think I've given them enough, especially in economics class, to navigate in this world. But the hands-on approach to it, the loving, the caring, the encouraging, that stuff seemed to be missing in depth. And that group has been basically a year and a half of that. So let's keep those young people in prayer as they go out into the world, man.
Amen, brother. Mike Staff agrees. James Mack agrees. Definitely. As I'm watching my own kids get through their unprecedented, uncharted territories of living virtually, academically and mentally getting through the ideas of never having certain luxuries that they had before COVID. So as we get to this point of trying to open the world back up, let's be open to hear, to listen. I've mentioned it on my show Tuesday. I went and saw my coach, Coach Cardell Tatamy. He coached me in JV back in 1990 when I was a 15-year-old sophomore, fresh out of middle school, going to high school. We didn't have 9th grade high school. We still had 10th grade. It was our first year of high school. And he was my first coach because we had 5 a.m. practice, and football and basketball always overlapped. But he was our first, taste of high school. And he was a disciplinarian. And you know how JV coaches are supposed to be disciplinarians because they're getting you ready for varsity. So he was a hard-nosed coach. He was also a referee, like Rodney and AC from LA. So he knew the game backwards and forwards, and he was trying to teach us how to play it a certain way. He taught me accountability. He taught me integrity. So I went over to his house and helped him clean up a little bit. He made a call out on Facebook to say, hey, man, your boy's not doing too hot. Can you help your boy out? And I was like, what you need, coach? So I went over there, helped him clean up a little bit, and it made me feel good. I told him, man, I said, let me be a blessing, man. Let me come help you out a little bit. I'm not going to pay for a cleaning service to come clean your house. I'm going to come clean your house myself. And, it's just a way for me to kind of like say thank you for what he did for me and all our coaches, man. You coach Jimmy, I coach. I know our teams were probably, years ago, but our kids, they remember the things we did for them. So that human touch, like you're talking about, we didn't get that this last year. And so right now it's all virtual. So when you hear someone cry out, you hear somebody say, yo, how you been? And now that we can go places a little bit, you still wear a mask, but you go over there and see somebody, man, because they keep saying give people their flowers while they're here. I'm a firm believer, man. If people reach out, it's a reason why they reached out. It's a reason why you got connected. It's not a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in purpose. So when someone comes back in your life, take advantage of it and go see them, talk to them, and let them know you appreciate them, man. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
This is 1585. That's Mac. I'm AC. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., Rodney Sars here, AC from LA. The lost and missing Trey Hop hasn't been seen in months. I hope he watches the show. Trey Hop, we miss you, man. Good, man. They took your name off the slate, man. You got to get back in the good graces.
Hope he comes back, man. That was a good brother, man, and I kind of miss hearing his show.
Mike said he's going back to coaching. I think I might once we get back too, man. Rod says Cardell's a great man. He lived across the street from my grandmother for years, and he's still a great official. I've told a story, man. One time I had a buzzer beater in middle school, and he was a ref, and I got fouled, and I made a half-court shot. We were down by 4. I hit a half-court shot, got hit, and he didn't call the foul. I was so mad at him, and then I got to high school, and he was my coach. I was like, man, you didn't call that foul when I was in the 8th grade. You remember that play, man? I hit a half-court shot, banked it in, and you didn't call the foul, so we didn't sit into overtime. It was Marshall versus Lindbergh. Remember it like it was yesterday, man. Hurt my heart. Broke my heart. All right, man. Yeah, Jay Moore, they took his name off. They took his name off the show. That's cold-blooded, man. All right, y'all. Y'all be easy, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, y'all. Have fun.